Hello, Tubies, and how are you all doing? I hope you're doing fantastically fabulous. And if you're not doing fantastically fabulous, I feel for you because I'm not doing fantastically fabulous. It has been almost 5 years of the same thing over and over and over again. I released a video last week talking about how the witchy community has died, and trust me, Tubies, it's dead. Okay? At this point, I'm like that kid, that fat kid in the movies who, like, finds a dead body and pokes it with a stick. The witchy community is the dead corpse, and I'm the fat kid, and I'm poking it with a stick trying to see if it's gonna come back to life, but it's not. It's over. It's gone. Like, the witchy community, as I've already stated 1,000 times, is dead. Okay? I'm not gonna beat that dead horse with a dead baseball bat, but I am gonna talk about some of the comments that I received on that video because it seems, to me at least, that when I'm not showing you how to do a spell or talking you through making an oil or an incense, but that I'm just bitching and moaning, that you people really like that. And it's evident by some of the comments that people do like drama, but the witchy community doesn't have any drama. I mean, if you want drama, go to Facebook groups. They've got drama coming out the wazoo, okay? You've got Christians coming in there, you've got people talking about how they need a spell for this, that, and the other thing, and they don't even care about, like, it's become so evident in those communities that they really don't care about being told of other ways in which they could handle the situation. Okay? So some examples are like, people are like, I need a spell to break up with somebody. Wouldn't you just, I don't want to be told that I should just break up with them. I want a spell to break up with somebody. I mean, wouldn't it be, I don't want to be told? Okay. Like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is the confusing aspect where it's now gotten to a point, at least in some Facebook groups, where people don't want real life suggestions. They just want the altar. And I mean, wouldn't that get a little expensive after a while? When I was in Vegas and I went to a botanical store, they had these candles, 7-day candles, anti-cursing, break somebody up, remove a curse, whatever, it doesn't matter. But they were like $5. Okay, $5 per. And these are the same people who then come back a week later and are like, I don't have a job, I don't have any money, I need a spell to get money, don't tell me to get a job. Okay, then how are you gonna get money? Because magic is not like Hollywood fiction where you just say some rhyming words or whatever and money just, but you know what? You do you. Okay, you do you, because clearly whatever you're doing is somehow, maybe not, but it sounds like it, even though it probably isn't working for you, okay? So, the witchy community, regardless of where you are, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, it's a mess. And it's dead. It's a mess of people not caring about the mundane and the simple things, right? Like, you want to break up with somebody, you break up with somebody. You want to wreck a home, well, there's magic for that, trust. I've done magic to wreck a home. You've done magic to wreck a home. We've all done magic to get ourselves some good old D, right? Like, wrecking a home is one thing, but to break up with somebody or to get money, I mean, wouldn't it be simpler to just tell the person, you know what, I've had this conversation enough times. And that's actually kind of one of the points that I wanted to talk about here. See, somebody had wrote, even the books I was reading felt like everyone was writing the same stuff, and it's very rare if it felt like I found a gem of a book. And that can be applied to YouTube, Facebook groups, everything, right? It's all been talked about. It's all been dragged through the mud. It's all been, right? And we all have our own opinions and our own different ways of doing things, right? Like, you've seen how I do spells. You've seen how Tequila does spells. You've seen how Ember... Okay, you haven't seen how Ember Honeyraven does spells, but you may have heard about it. Probably not. But, you know, tidbits. Probably not. Better example, you've seen how the Witch of Seacliff does magic, right? You've seen how the Blue Witch does magic. You've seen how every witch does magic. You've seen it once, you've seen it 50,000 times. There's no point in the witchy community continuing on in the way that it is, right? It's the same thing day in, day out, over and over and over and over again. And over. And over there. And over there. And over there, and over there, including you. If you're thinking about, oh, I have a topic for you to do, I bet you, don't even give me your topic. First, Google it, because it's probably already covered. Second, go on YouTube, type it in, because it's probably already done by 60,000 other witches and myself. And if you still can't find it, I bet you anything in the giant playlist that is The Witchy Show, you will find it. I bet you. Okay, because that's exactly what I'm saying. Everything that we've ever talked about has been talked about. For example, how do we as witches view the pandemic, poverty, racism in terms of uplifting topics such as marriage, sex, births, and other major celebrations? You can't talk about any of that on YouTube. You cannot talk about racism on YouTube because your video will be demonetized, it will be suppressed. This video is probably already being suppressed by YouTube because it's witchcraft, okay? It's not even a witchcraft. It's me telling you and poking, I'm being the fat kid, poking a dead corpse with a stick. Okay, that's what I'm doing, I'm poking. Soon, I will be getting out my barbed wire laced bat and beating it. Okay, we're talking Walking Dead Glenn style. You don't understand the reference, do you? Because you probably don't watch The Walking Dead, but that's okay. You can't talk about the pandemic. You can't talk about racism. What else did you have in here? You can't talk about poverty. I mean, this whole year I have been trying to do this theme of being a poor witch, and all of my videos are being suppressed, right? Probably because I'm crazy and I'm psychotic and I'm insane. But how long can I keep doing that for? See, I've been doing that for 5 years. I've been doing this show since I was 27 years old. And girl, I have been embroiled in drama. I have called people fake witches. I have been called a fake witch. I have got myself embroiled with some of the big wigs on YouTube, whatever that is. And I have gained subscribers. I've lost subscribers. I've gained more dislikes than likes. I've gained likes. I've gained this. I've gained that. I've gained everything. But at the end of the day, how long can the witchy show continue going in the direction that it's going? It can't go very long because there's nothing left to talk about. Everything has been talked about to death. And that is why the witchy community is dead, because there's nothing left to talk about. You can't talk about marriage, okay? Because some Christian will come out and be like, that's not marriage, okay? Marriage is between a man and a woman in the eyes of God, performed in a church by a pastor. And if you start talking about the Wiccan ways of, like, what is it, the hand binding thing? I don't know. Charm did something, but it's based off of an actual Wiccan ritual where something, I don't know, a high priest or high priestess can marry people, something like that. I don't know. You do your research. But the point that I'm getting to is that you can't talk about it on YouTube. You can't talk about birth. You can't talk about racism. You can't talk about poverty. You can't talk about pandemic. You can't talk about this. You can't talk about that. You can't talk about anything. Because YouTube suppresses everybody. Do you really want to start a channel on this platform? I mean, I'm not gonna stop you, right? I've made videos asking people to start channels and to bring the witchy community to life because you're not doing it for subscribers. No one cares about subscribers when you're in the witchy community. No one cares about likes or dislikes. It's the comment section you care about because that's where you build your community. That's where people start to share their opinions and express their ideas and give you feedback on your channel, right? I've got tons of feedback on my channel over the years. And I'm just telling you that the witchy show cannot continue going in the direction that it is going. Because I'm getting too old to be a sassy queen. I'm getting too old to do the things that I do, to be psychotic and insane and crazy and this and that and Cindy Lou Who and all of this other bullshit. I'm too old. Okay? I mean, I'm gonna be 33. When do we turn into an adult? I think you were right because I think a lot more people are playing witch because it's trending now. The new has worn off and they have moved on to the next big thing. That's the other issue with the witchy community. Authenticity. I've talked about this before. I'm not talking about fake witches versus real witches or any of that bullshit. I'm talking about people who get into witchcraft because somebody blew up on YouTube, regardless of whoever it is, and now they're mildly famous. And by blow up, I mean like 10,000, 15,000, 30,000, 100,000, 150,000 subscribers, right? And when the people who see that dive into the witchcraft aspect, they may have good intentions. They may want to actually investigate this alternative lifestyle, this alternative religion in the case of Wicca, this alternative spiritual practice in the case of New Age, this new way of thinking. But you know what they really want? They want the money, they want the man, they want the house. That's not what witchcraft even is. I mean, it sort of is. We hear about, if you do your research on the history of witchcraft and you read into some of the folk stories, a lot of people were people who lived in rural areas trying to protect their farm or protect their animals or get their crops to grow during really horrible seasons and so on and so forth. They weren't always at their altar casting their spells, looking for men, looking for love, looking for this, looking for that, blah, blah, blah. Maybe there were a few, who knows? But a lot of the folk stories that we have talk about how an old grandmother would cast a spell to save the child or the little children from, I don't know, typhoid or something. I mean, clearly it didn't work because they still died. But, and then there were like wise women and wise men and this and that, right? Like these were people that you would turn to in times of need and spiritual crisis when you weren't really a Christian or a Catholic or didn't really believe in God, right? And nowadays, if you look at witchcraft, it is a trend. It's a trendy thing, right? Everybody's got their crystals, their sage, their this, their that, their other thing, whatever. And they're not using it in a way where it's like, I am at my wit's end and I don't know what to do. They're using it in a way where it's like, I just want to cast magic because I saw Bob on YouTube who's got 250,000 subscribers do it, and I want to be like Bob. Bob is cool. Bob is different. And I mean, if that's your thing, then you do whatever it is that makes you happy, because all we ever want for you is to be happy, okay? But this is the other issue with why I'm poking the corpse with the stick, right? The fat kid with the stick and the corpse and the poking of, right? And it's because it's a trend. It's a trendy thing. It's different. It's not Christianity, it's not Catholicism, it's not Judaism, it's not Muslim, it's not Buddhist. It's different, and it can be done any way you want it to be done. But a lot of people tend to copy other people, which I guess is, I mean, you do you. But they tend to copy other people and they tend to try and replicate another person's craft because they don't feel valid in their own craft. Because maybe their craft isn't really a craft. It's an amalgamation of Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook groups, and YouTube. And I guess that's fine. I mean, it's not my craft. It's not hurting me. It's not affecting me in any way. So you do whatever you want. But it is a trend. It's a trend. It's not something that we used to use or that we use in dire need anymore. It's not something that we use. We definitely don't go out and forage for our own herbs. We definitely don't go and make our own candles. We definitely half the time don't take the time to enchant our items or objects or cleanse our tools or make our sacred spaces. We just sit down and we just start putting our intentions in and we just start calling upon the universe whenever we want, wherever we want. Witchcraft used to be a little more regimented. And I think with modern era, practices of dumbing everything down and making it super easy and accessible for everybody, witchcraft has really lost that. And I'm not saying that we need to go back to that in any way, shape, or form, but if you look at Wicca in the 50s and you look at Wicca now, right? There used to be a little more ceremony to it. There used to be a little more initiation to it. There used to be a little more study to it. There used to be a little more everything to it. And nowadays it's like if you have a crystal in your house, you can call yourself a Wiccan. And I mean, if you want to do that, girl, you do whatever you want. Okay, there used to be a time when everybody and their mother's dog would share their magic. Like, you would share your recipe for chocolate chip cookies, right? You may put in a little more flour, or a little less sugar, or a little more chocolate chips, or a little less eggs. I don't know. You do whatever you want. But nowadays, it's if you don't make that recipe exactly the way it's supposed to be made, you ain't a chef. Right? And it's like, what? What is happening? There's division in the real world and there's division in the witchy community, except there isn't a witchy community anymore. Now, if you're somebody who practices hoodoo or voodoo or Santeria or more of the African-based spiritual practices, you might be sitting there being like, what are you talking about? The community's not dead. You're poking nothing with a stick. It's very much alive. Yes, on that aspect. But if you're talking about channels like mine, the Lady Gravedancer, Ravenways, so on and so forth, right, the white aspect of the community, it's dead, it's gone. Why? Because it was trendy. It was this thing that everybody wanted to get involved in. Remember, I used to talk about bored housewives, right? And like people would want to get into witchcraft and they'd want to buy the books and they'd want to buy The Secret, and everybody's done the book reviews and everybody's done the tarot reviews and everybody's done the crystal reviews and everybody's done the incense and everybody and their mother's dog has done a haul. Everybody's talked about fire oils and war waters and patchouli and frankincense, even though I have a video coming on that later, and cinnamon and like demons and ghosts and dead babies and pouring blood on dead people's graves. I was reading that in my book. I'll get to it in my season 2 of Dancing with Demons. I know you're confused. It's okay. Relax. Breathe. Pause the video. Breathe. Okay? But what I'm saying is, like, everything has been done, and yes, there is a community, but if you're not white, then there's an entire community. Literally. I'm not even joking. There is an entire hoodoo community that is vibrant. There is an entire voodoo community that is vibrant. There is, like, if you look up anything to do with hoodoo, and it's not done by a white person, there is an entire community around it, and it is fascinating and it is amazing, and I'm happy for those people. I really am. I mean, your roots that you use in a lot of your magical workings are godly expensive, if not impossible to find, but at the same time, there is a massive community. There is. I'm not saying that everybody should start going in that direction, because then we get into the whole aspect of cultural appropriation and who can and who can't, and I really don't want to have that conversation. The old community was about video responses, making witchy friends, and sometimes drama, sure, but then you started to see witches building a brand, professional-looking videos, catering to the algorithm. It's all about the algorithm, I'm not gonna lie. I don't understand the algorithm, because if I upload 3 times a week, then my videos don't get views. If I upload once a week, then my videos get views. If I don't upload at all, then I gain subscribers. If I upload, then I lose subscribers, and I'm just like, if I go live, then no one knows about it until halfway through the live video, right? Like, what is this algorithm? Nobody cares about the algorithm. And if you're gonna start a witchy channel, don't care about the algorithm. Upload when you wanna upload. Don't care about your professional looking videos, because I'm recording this on a phone, and yes, I'm a little more privileged to be able to afford some editing software, but at the end of the day, even if I didn't have that, I would probably just use the cheapest thing that I could find, which would probably be Movie Maker. I mean, when I started making YouTube videos, I was using the free iMovie that came on my Mac, and it would take me hours to edit, not just edit, but render the video out just to upload to YouTube. It was a cluster. Those were the good old days. I miss the good old days. Right? and constantly trying to sell their courses, readings, etc. Not that there's anything wrong with somebody making money, but after a while, I unsubbed because those channels felt fake to me. And it's not that the person doing the content was fake, it just felt probably, and I'm now probably putting words in your mouth, but it probably felt, and at least in my opinion from what I have seen, it feels as if that's all they have. I mean, if you look at the Blue Witch, her content was like, her subscriber base was going up and up, and her views were going up and up and up and up. And then it's just the same thing. Love spell for CJ, or binding spell for AD, or... And there's nothing wrong with that. Dude, I'm not coming for you. I'm just saying that people get bored of the same thing over and over again. And I think that's why the Witchy channel, motherfucker, please. The Witchy show has to go in some other direction. I've done everything. I've done series-oriented content. I've done dark and depressing content. I have done 3 times a week content. I have done sassy videos. I have done crazy videos. I have done yelling videos. I have done screaming videos. I have done videos when I'm completely baked out of my tree. I have done everything that you can do. The only thing I haven't done is shut up on YouTube. Maybe that should be my next video. We're not doing that because needles terrify me. Okay, literally fucking terrify me. I took a break from hell, my sanity for 6 months, and I've been reconnecting with my ancestors and demons, and I have to say I agree. Channels I've watched avidly have stopped posting, and I have to go searching for new uploads. No notifications. Now that I purposely seek out your channel, I'm starting to get notifications, but a good 2 hours after you upload. I hate the TikTok stuff. You're right. You can't learn anything, and it's all about aesthetics, not the spirit of the craft. I think that witchcraft has gone the way of punk in many ways. I can still remember being younger and seeing Avril Lavigne called punk rock, and I was amazed because even though I know enough to know that punk was not Skater Boy, people don't care, especially the younger ones. And I think as new, younger generation of witches start coming into the fold, essentially, they start looking at things like Snapchat, Instagram, and TikTok, the easy ways to grow, the easy ways to get your stuff out there. I have found a few gay men, they're literally gay, you can tell, you just listen to their voice, who talk about witchcraft on YouTube, and they have no subscribers. And they have very little views. And you find the same type of gay men or women or whatever on TikTok, and they're just instantly famous, right? That's because that's what people want. People don't want for you to sit down in front of a YouTube video and explain to them how you're poking a dead corpse with a stick because you're a fat kid, right? They want to hear you say that in a 60-second video that they can just scroll past because the entire society has ADHD, which isn't even a thing. I know it's a thing. Calm down. Right? Tired of the witchy community, felt that. Those 10 signs you're a witch videos are often made so often because it gets a lot of views. 10 signs you're a witch. 1, you're a witch. 2, you're a witch. 3, you're a witch. 5 hours later. 6, you're a witch. 7, you're a witch. 8, you're a witch. 9, you're a witch. And 10, you're not a witch. Right? So tired of those videos. Especially from newer witchers who are often sort of sniffing out their path. It's a mix of the algorithm and getting those views and individual validation. I think one of the problems with YouTube is that we're constantly seeking other people's opinions and validations. And we're comparing our likes and our subscribers and our comment count to that of, I don't know, Lady Gravedancer, who gets way more than anybody, right? We compare ourselves to other people that are more famous on YouTube than us, and we're never happy with what we have. It's like witchcraft. Oh my God, right? So we do a spell to get a man and we're not happy. So we gotta go buy Tequila's penis-shaped doll baby because he cheating on us instead of just leaving him, right? I mean, if you want to do that, if you want to go buy her penis doll baby thing made of wax, girl, you do whatever, right? Support locally, shop locally, right? Don't buy none of that store-bought bullshit, right? But at the end of the day, it's just, like I've said, it's the same thing over and over again. It's people who don't want to sit down and watch a 20-minute video. This video is probably like 50 minutes long. But they don't want to sit down and they don't want to watch a video. They don't want to sit there and watch interviews with other people. I mean, there's lots of people that do, obviously. The people don't care anymore. Or they're bored. Or they're dead. Or they've left. And I've poked this dead body with a stick enough times that it's oozing this weird green stuff all over my shoe now, okay? My shoe is covered in green, gooky stuff from the corpse that I've been poking. And the witchy show has to go in a different direction. It has to change. It has to evolve. Because like I said, I'm 33 years old this year, and I'm too old to be sitting here and telling you that you're stupid because crystal hippy dippy blah blahs. Like, no one cares anymore. How many times have I said that? How many times have I reiterated myself in this video? Right? It's the same thing over and over again. Maybe I should leave YouTube. I know there's a certain number of witches out there being like, please do, please do, please, I beg of you. You couldn't pay me enough. I'm still on YouTube just to piss you off. Put it that way. But in reality, it's just, that's the other thing, is that I don't know what to evolve into. Obviously still witchy, calm down. I don't know what other area I could go into, because I don't want to do book reviews. Book reviews are boring. I mean, yeah, they get you some views because people are like, oh, I've never seen that book before. Remember, like, I had that, like, witchcraft, I don't know, they were hardcover books. I can't remember what they're called. They're up in my cupboard somewhere. But I had, like, I did a review on that. I don't want to do reviews because reviews have been done to death, okay? I don't have the money to do hauls, okay? I'm very poor. I'm so poor. I'm disgustingly poor, okay? I've shown you every spell in all of God's creation. I'm too old to go and start drama with some other witch just to get views, okay? There is no Derry Carpenter in the community anymore. There was a Cindy Lou Who, but she's long gone, and I've beaten that dead horse with a dead stick enough times that I think we're all bored of that. Okay, I've done the fake witch thing, okay? I've called people a fake witch. I've embroiled myself in drama with other witches, and I'm bored. It's like that episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer where Willow's going around flaying people. I'm bored now, okay? I'm gonna rip off your skin because I am bored now. I'm literally bored. I'm bored. And I could take a break from YouTube, but what would I come back to? Right? If I'm having this issue now, God knows I'm going to be having that issue then. I've talked about how we've had quiet times in our craft, right? I've talked about different gods and goddesses. I've shown my experience, I've given my experience with some of them that I work with. I've talked about demons, and like I said, I already have a series, or part 2, season 2. I don't know. Who cares? It won't get any views, is the point, okay? Coming on more information from my book, Goetia of Shadows, that I've been reading, and it's actually quite interesting. It's more Luciferian than I thought it would be, which is not a problem. I'm not a Luciferian. I'm a traditional witch. People would call me probably Abrahamic, but not really. I mean, you do you. You label me whatever you want to label me, and I don't care. But it's just, I think this is the other issue with going back to poking a corpse with a stick and being a fat kid, is that there is nothing to really say anymore. People have run out of things to talk about, and when you run out of things to talk about, you disappear from the internet. You disappear from YouTube. I will always have something to talk about. I will probably just beat the same dead body with a stick when I see that it gets me 100 views on YouTube, which is what I used to get, okay? My I don't hate Wicca and my whole YouTube is dead brings me from my typical 30-some views a week to like 130 something in 2 days. So clearly you people want that kind of content. You want me to sit here and tell you how your precious community is already dead over and over again, don't you? Well, guess what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to tell you how the witchy show is dead. It is. I'm sorry. It's dead. Right? And I understand now why a lot of witches have left, because this is why. Your channel just dies. People get bored of you. People are so bored of me. I mean, how many times have I done the crazy and the sarcastic and the insanity and just the bullshit over and over again, right? The I'm a queen and I'm Queen Elsa, like no one cares anymore is the point, right? No one cares. So I have to figure out, and obviously there's still content to come because I've already uploaded and pre-scheduled June? I don't know. I think it's June. June's content? Yeah, June, because I'm taking a month off. And I'm probably not going to take a month off. I'm probably going to do these like little Sunday things where I just poke the same corpse with the same stick over and over again, expecting a different outcome, but realizing it's a corpse and I'm just a fat kid alone in the forest with no friends or family or anyone who loves me. Right? I love 90s movies. I really do. So... But at the end of the day, it's just like the witchy show is getting too old. It's gonna be 5 years. This year, next year? I don't know. Go back to my very first video. It's still uploaded, trust. It's the conversation with the universe. Find out what day that was recorded on and then do the math. It's been 4 or 5 years and I'm just getting too old for the nonsense. And I gotta figure out where the witchy show is gonna go from there. Because if I sit down at the altar and show you guys magical spells, no one cares. There's like 20 views. If I sit here and beat the same dead horse with a dead horse, then it seems like people care. But if I then go and embroil myself with drama with Ember Honeyraven, then everybody is gonna watch that because sex sells. She's a sexy motherfucker. But drama also sells is the point that I was getting to. And I don't have time for that. I don't have time to get involved in someone else's messy life because I'm too busy being involved in my own messy life and having my own messy time on the internet, right? And I realize that a lot of you will probably be like, oh, you could talk about this and you could talk about that and you could talk about this subject and that subject and all of this other stuff. But half of it you can't talk about on YouTube because suppression, okay? Or and you'll never see the video. Or the other half of it you can't talk about because if you do a simple search on YouTube for a single sentence out of the thing that you want somebody to talk about, it's probably already been done and you'll get 50,000 pages of the same or different people talking about the same thing over and over again. Okay? I don't even know what this video was supposed to be about. I just poked the dead body with the same stick. I hope you got something out of it. I'm gonna go away now. I'll see you tomorrow. You're like, tomorrow? Remember our usual 12:30 p.m. Mountain Time videos that I do every day that get me like 10 views. Love you.